Hello, people. It's still Black History because we're Black 365. It's still all things Black, influential, all things informative, all things history. I don't exclude other people, but I am celebrating and talking to our people. Everybody is welcome to the conversation. Everybody should be in the conversation because we have never accomplished anything alone. There has always been people who understood, who saw what was right, and stood up for what is right. You remember all the times that we would look at movies. We would look at, what you guys have determined as slave movies and things about slavery or things about the way segregation and the things that our forefathers went through. And we thought, oh, there is no way. They can't do that now. They wouldn't. They couldn't. They will never. They couldn't think about. I wouldn't. Couldn't be me. Guess what? We're there. I remember during the election, and there were so many people. I mean, there were people within my circle who would discuss and talk about what Kamala Harris's process and her platform was, realizing that this woman was thrown into the race at the last minute because Democrats did not understand sticking together the same way that Republicans will do. And to a degree, I appreciate that. But in this season, in this climate, that was the worst thing they could have done. Having thrown her in as a vice president, some people that I know better, who know that as a vice president, that's pretty much just a ceremonial position. And they were saying, well, she needs to come out and, pretending to talk intelligently, like, what is her platform? What is she going to do? As if this election really was a choice. We could have had Snoopy running, and it was a non-choice to pick Snoopy. But no, people went out and voted like a landslide for this man. And now I am so frustrated watching the videos of people who are overwhelmed and surprised by what he is doing when he said what he was going to do. Not only did he say it, because I don't want to just focus on him, but we let it happen. There were too many of us that were complicit. And Black people, look, those of you who say you don't vote, they all crooks and it's all set up or whatever, you should vote just because our ancestor recognized and fought for us the opportunity. It's not necessarily set up, but it is definitely something that you have to study. It's not something that's going to come in a quick little TikTok and it won't soothe your soul and it won't be funny. It won't be popping. It may not go viral, but politics is something you really need to understand because everything is affected by politics. Everybody that you say, oh, they're crooked, is affected by politics. So whether you participated in it or not, you are a direct reflection of what happens because either you participate and then you use your vote. What's the word I want to use? You throw away your vote. Because votes have to be strategic. You can vote for an independent going, I didn't vote for either one of them. But then you're throwing away your vote because sometimes in politics, a vote against or the wrong vote is still putting the wrong person in. So that's why I say you got to really understand politics. When you have two people and two primary parties, you got to vote for one or the other. Your vote really won't even make a difference. It won't hit because the way the Electoral College is set up, they have to win the state and then the votes are supposed to go to that person based on them winning the popular vote. So if you vote for an independent, you may feel better about yourself, but you've done nothing to change or to really make a difference. If you're going to vote for that independent, you've got to make sure that independent has traction. So there are so many steps. There's so much to it. And we tend to run it like checkers. Let's run and let's jump, jump, jump. and make the game go quick and vote, and we don't look at it as chess. Some people have already checked out when the fight is not over. There is always a battle brewing. And the next battle is making sure in the midterm elections in your city and your state that you send some more Democrats, because right now the Republicans run everything. And while Trump is the person out front saying the things, have you noticed no one behind him, no Republicans are saying anything? Even when they report it on the news, they'll say some Republicans are mad, but you do not see the Republicans stepping out, speaking against or saying anything. You need to wonder why. They represent the people. Put the pressure on them to do their job, to let them know, no, you're not, you don't appreciate what's going on. Why aren't they saying something to Elon Musk? Jasmine Crockett is one of the few. She's been vocal. She's been everywhere. And she's been standing up. And we cannot allow her to let her stand alone. What are we doing? What are we saying, people? And we cannot get afraid. The minute that man or the Republicans and all of those people smell fear, they're going to come in for the kill. So all of the stuff that you talked about, all of the things that you said couldn't happen, wouldn't happen, I wish they would, guess what? We are there. We're there. So now what? Your tough talk will not make it. Individually, we cannot fight this fight. Because individually, if you stop and you start talking about your rights and this and that, you're, next thing you know, you thrown in jail, you're going to be out of place. No, we've got to fight this collectively, and we've got to fight it like we've got good sense. Those of you that's, out there in your podcast and you talking all this trash and politicians and they only come in our neighborhood, shut it up. What are you doing in the neighborhood? How come you're not running? Is your record clear? Get yourself together. Yes, you may have a record. I'm not knocking that. But realize and figure out how to get yourself clear. If not, make sure you understand politics and get in the game that is really moving. Get on the chessboard. You out here walking around raised up and puffed up and talking stupid. And I say talking stupid because if all you're doing is talking, you're not helping. You have got to be of action, and the action has to be pointed toward the real political goal where the real fight is. It cannot be a fight that makes you feel good. It has to be one that makes a difference. If that means you've got to study politics to understand where to get in, then do it. Your local elections is where this starts. Understand the assignment. We are still fighting. Yes, he's in here for 4 years, but how long he stays, whether or not we get him out, how much he's able to tear up is up to us. And we don't have time to cry. You guys did it. And I say you guys because black women, we did our job. 92%. Let that sink in. We showed up. We did our job. And guess what? We're still out here doing our job. We don't have time to cry. We don't have time to go in a corner. We've got to do like Nehemiah. We've got to build and fight at the same time. We've got to survive and fight at the same time. We've got to try to work together so that we can thrive. And that's why you need to be doing everything you can to support black-owned businesses, to support and set things aside for yourself. And that's why we've got to be strategic with our money. We can no longer be cavalier. We should have already stopped being so cavalier, but we weren't. We were complacent. We got comfortable. We sat down. We thought it could never happen. We are here. Now what you gonna do? It's time for a fight, but not the way you want to fight. Not the physical. It's time to take the fight mental. It's time to take the fight intellectually. It's time to take the fight financially. It's time to go to the fight politically. Stand up. Do what's right. Know what you're doing. Get in the fight. I told you, Black 365.